All right, so we're still here. It's been an amazing day at AfroCannes.
Amazing day.
It's been an amazing day at AfroCannes, and I'm here with Cecilia Gärding. And she's a producer, filmmaker, and I love what you do.
Yeah.
But tell our audience about what you really do.
Right. So I am also a scriptwriter, and I just finished a project for the European Commission, where we finished 21 short films. It was
21.
I made 21 short films in 2 years. I think I broke a Guinness World Record actually.
you deserve all the accolades. You deserve all the flowers.
Thank you.
There you go.
But we got the funds because the EU has understood that we need to work against radicalization by using media, because the other side, the right-wing extremism, the right-wing extremists and the Islamic fundamentalists, they use film to kill people in the streets of Europe and in Africa and in the Middle East and in America.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it sounds a bit challenging.
Yes.
How do you handle that?
Okay, so it's been a lot of sadness because I had to go through the interviews of victims of terrorist attacks, and also why young men end up in radicalized milieus, and it was really hard for me to, dive into it. But at the same time, I was brought up in the north of Sweden as a mixed race child, and my class.
Mixed race.
Mixed race. I'm South African Swedish. My mother was mixed, and so I'm quarter black. That explains the hair.
I see that. I see that.
Thank you.
I won't touch it, don't worry.
So anyway, I wanted to say that with that background, I saw my classmates become neo-Nazis. But I also saw them leave that world after 10 years maybe, but then they were criminals. They had a record. Their lives were broken. And I just felt it was like a runaway train.
Right.
How can we stop this? And one way is actually through media, through movies.
Right.
Yeah.
Telling the stories.
Telling the stories.
Exactly.
Yes. And that's called counter-narratives.
Counter-narratives.
Yes, because what the propagandists are doing is propaganda. But what we are doing is factual stories that are based on true facts, that actually people did die, people actually did change their lives, because this is what's not really getting out there in the media. And also we have a whitewashing of who is the victim.
Yes.
There are rarely we see movies where a Muslim has lost someone in a terrorist attack.
Yes.
And I made a film about that, where a husband of a wife, she got murdered in the terrorist attack in Brussels, 2016.
Brussels?
In Brussels.
Okay.
And that film is called Jihad for Love, because he later wrote a book.
I like the title.
It's beautiful.
Yes.
He later wrote a book to harness the pain and what he wanted for the future.
So which means he was not really up for that, because how it works is sometimes, it's not your will, but you have to do it.
Yeah.
Because they will give you the quote-unquote in the name of.
Yeah. Yeah, and he was a victim also, because people don't really see that when a terrorist attack happens, that on the street it kills people from every single culture, every single religion, and people that are thinking about doing this, maybe Muslim, will maybe think twice. But this is my brother. And I killed him. I would potentially kill his wife. But she did die in this attack. So this film is about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And is this already done, or are you still?
It's already done. Everything is already done. Now I feel like a baker with a lot of bread. I just wanna, I wanna have customers buy my bread.
All right. So where is this bread, and where can we find the bread so we can buy?
You can buy. All right. So at my website is Eurotopia-project.com. You can go in there and check out the movies.
Eurotopia.
Eurotopia. That's the name of the project.
Right.
Because we wanted to say that together we wanna have a vision for Europe. Okay. And my vision.
But why Eurotopia? Is it a utopia setting?
Yeah, but a Eurotopia.
Okay.
That's what I want, where we all are brothers and sisters and love each other more.
Right.
That's what I want.
So how does that resonate to the continent of Africa?
Oh, so much, because if you look at the relationship of Africa with Europe that we've had for such a long time, what's happening in Europe impacts in Africa, what happens in Africa impacts in Europe. Okay. Absolutely, so we need to look at that.
In terms of the movie?
Okay, so I showed a movie today that's called Take the High Road.
Right.
That is about Afrophobia and hate crime towards African diaspora.
Ah,
We have to also look
African
at that.
diaspora.
Yes. Living in Brussels, in Sweden, in Italy, we're kind of, not really neglected, but we're kind of hidden.
But this is from an European eye view.
Yeah, how they are
Sort of.
treated and how they are treated. That's what's going on, and I wanted to show that this man went through hate crime, but still he went on. He had the high road.
Right.
How can we live together? How can we heal? How can we solve this? And he used the term Ubuntu. I'm Zulu. I'm Zulu European.
Right.
and he said, Ubuntu really means that you are human when you behave like a human towards other people. That's when you are a human.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's what he was kind of saying, that the African philosophy can teach Europe how we can live together.
Which I like the way you ended that, how African philosophy can teach Europe how we can live together.
Yes.
But practically, we face challenges trying to execute this.
Yeah, of course.
And I'm sure you did that even through this movie.
Yeah.
But without these movies like this, we're not able to move to the next step.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
So we appreciate what you're doing.
Thank you so much.
And then telling these stories through your production lens. And
and I want to tell you something more. I made a feature film before all of this, and the name is We Are Like Oranges.
We Are Like Oranges.
And it is the first film where an African Swedish young man got to play the hero without being criminalized or sexualized. He was just a normal person for a whole feature film, and that was revolutionary in itself. Mm-hmm. And this was 2011, and since then I have not seen anything similar, but we are getting new voices, like you met them today, that are upcoming. But I was basically one of the first that really tried to change the narrative into, why can't we just make a film that they do in Hollywood about a normal young man, and then he becomes a superhero, or he takes on a task that looks impossible, but he makes it.
Exactly.
That's what we're so used to see in white men. But
Yeah.
why are we not giving black men this opportunity? So I'm really proud. I was one of the first.
So
to do that.
after 11 years, do you think that initiative that you took has had some sort of growth?
Well, the problem with now I can see it.
Exactly.
And now I see it, but not then, because I noticed that the Swedish television and Swedish film industry were not really understanding what was I doing. Because I won Best Feature Film Award in Hollywood for this movie. I have never won anything in Sweden.
Did you hear that?
I didn't win one award in Sweden, but in Hollywood they love me there.
But why is that so? Is this more like political agenda, or is it a social agenda? Because and is it because of your background, or you see where I'm coming from?
I think it's the content of what I'm doing, because it was really in your face. It was really in your face, telling the truth. And I have to be honest, I didn't get money from the Swedish film industry. I got money from Swedish non-profit organizations, and that meant I had total artistic freedom. Nobody touched my script but me.
Exactly.
And that usually doesn't happen. So I know I was in a very, very special place where I could really tell the story. In my film, for instance, it's like a Alice in Wonderland saga, where he goes back in time and meets the people who approved the Swedish slave trade. And I portrayed them. They are kings and queens, like idiots, okay? So the only bad comment I've ever heard is that I mistreat white people, but I'm like, well, I'm white too. I'm black and white.
But how you mistreating white people?
Just because I show that the person who approved the slave trade apparently looks like an idiot. I think they should be looking like
an idiot.
Right? How can that be?
That's the hard truth.
That is the hard truth.
But we have to tell it.
Yes.
And I'm very happy that someone like you is taking that initiative to do this. And then we all need to jump on that bandwagon and support you.
Yes, thank you. Please do.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. So where can we find this movie? How can we watch it? How can we be a part of it?
So the movie We Are Like Oranges is actually online on YouTube, so you can please have a look there. I will actually put out an English version with English subtitles, because now it's in Swedish. Yes,
so we can understand.
Organize. Of course. And then another project I'm working on right now, in the future, actually inspired by today.
Okay, inspired by today.
Today, yes, because it's been on my mind.
Right.
My mother was one of the apartheid anti-apartheid activists
Right.
that ended up in Sweden. And in 1986, our prime minister was murdered.
Right.
And but before he died, he made sure to give a lot of money to Southern Africa for the independent organizations like ANC.
ANC, right.
So ANC came to my hometown to learn how to become ministers, and my mother taught them how to do that. So I'm going to do a film about that.
I can't wait to. I cannot wait to see it. You know, because I just love the whole passion about it and the excitement that you bring out. You know, in your vision.
Yeah.
You know, for this.
Yeah,
but I think it's important. But you have to tell the story.
Yeah,
Nobody can do that for you.
Do? Yeah, you're
exactly.
right. That's what I decided also. If you have a good story, what are you waiting for?
Absolutely.
And especially, I know something else about stories, is that when they continue being in your mind after even 6 months, a year, that means it's a good one.
It's supposed to be there,
yes,
right?
I've been waiting for this for 4 years maybe, because I've been busy with the Eurotopia, so I didn't have time.
Right, Eurotopia, exactly.
But no, I'm thinking about that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
About my mother, and explain also we have African current heroes from the 80s. Why aren't we having films about that? Because we do need Antara, but we also need the 60s, 70s, 80s.
Exactly.
The heroes who created and changed here in Europe, because they are also voices to Africa.
Absolutely.
To have as role models, and for young people growing up, dark skin or mixed, to see in my country I also have heroes. We need that.
Absolutely. Because we need that. I like the fact that you touch on Antara.
Yeah.
You know, because once again, who's going to tell the stories for us? We have to tell our own stories.
Yes, we have to
but it has to relate.
Yes.
You know, and then coming to the 60s, 70s, that's a bit more current.
Yes,
so,
exactly.
So you go Asian time, Mansa Musa, all of that, Santua, but you bring it to so we can relate to it.
Yes.
Especially the generation.
The generation that was not there to see the democratic Africa. That's what I want. I want to tell their story, because I am the product of that.
Absolutely.
That was my mother.
Absolutely.
She had to leave because she was an anti-racist activist. So unfortunately she's not alive anymore. So it would be my way to show her respect as well.
Absolutely, and you're living through that,
Yes.
and we appreciate for all that she showed you, and then
Thank you.
that you have also learned on your own, and this is great. This is really good. So it's been wonderful, and I'm so happy having Cecilia here. For what she's doing is really good for the industry.
Thank you.
It's such a great initiative.
Thank you.
And the collaborations and the partnerships, over on the continent. It's something that you also, I believe, you take it, more serious. And see
absolutely, 100%. And also, I wanted to say to everyone out there, there are EU funds to do film. Even when you're in Africa, we have a Euro-African cooperation now.
Yes.
So you guys that live in Africa watching this, check these applications out. Find African diaspora companies, film companies like mine. Work with us.
Absolutely, we will definitely work with you.
Thank you.
Because I know the EU is doing major stuff on the continent.
They are. They want to do more, and they're just knocking. They're just waiting for the people to knock on the door and have some ideas.
We do have the ideas.
Go for it.
We're knocking on your door.
We're gonna knock on your door.
Open up for us. But thank you so much. It's been wonderful,
Thank you.
and you've been terrific all day. Being here,
so
contributing, and engaging.
Thank
and
you.
then we're here to support you, and then we love what you're doing, and we thank you for coming out. Cecilia.
Oh, no!
Bye.
Thank you so much.